Been a long time, huh? Hey guys, it's me, that guy who stole the nickname off of someone much cooler than him. I haven't made a legitimate, actual full-length video in, oh man, 2 years. And that update video I made was supposed to have a video come out like a month after.
How embarrassing!
Well, I'm here. I still don't 100% feel confident with making content for YouTube again as of writing the script, but here's hoping by the end I feel differently. 2018, man, it sure was a year. I started it with my boyfriend in Chicago before going back home several days later. I officially quit my last job that I enjoyed and started a new job that I liked marginally less. I made new friends both online and in real life. I even played new games, saw new movies and shows. My boyfriend visited for the summer and I bought a Nintendo Switch. Though the year was not much fun for everyone, I still very much had a fun time and I want to share some of my favorite things coming from this year with you all.
Disclaimer, this idea was lifted from the infinitely more eloquent and handsome Super Eyepatch Wolf, and if you somehow have never watched any of his videos, you're missing out. Go and watch his stuff already.
This year was excellent for anime that appealed directly to me. 3 worth mentioning are Pop Team Epic, Aggretsuko, and Devilman Crybaby. Pop Team Epic appeals to my sense of humor more than anything. There are several gags a minute that immediately end and just get straight to the next one, rarely if ever giving the viewer a chance to breathe. This may be a turnoff for many and I might not be doing a great job describing it, but that's precisely why I love it. It's got references that go beyond the normal anime references, takes advantage of the fact that it's an anime adaptation of an online 4-coma manga series, basically the manga version of Sunday Comics, and doesn't waste any time trying to explain anything or have any kind of narrative development or even pace. It's an anime that feels like it's developed by the main characters, Popoko and Pipimi, and I'm so glad I got to watch it. Aggretsuko is an anime that I feel like I needed in this time of my life. The working world sucks for young adults and there's very little in terms of media that properly conveys that and the hardships that comes with the territory of being a young 20-something working in a place that you feel like you should grow accustomed to, but haven't yet. When Retsuko is feeling so overwhelmed with work that she actually leaves to the restroom just to sing her lungs and soul out about how much she hates life and several many other things, I'm right there with her. Not only is it relatable in that sense, it also shines a light on some of the few good things in Retsuko's life she can turn to when things get tough, like work friends, friends outside of the office, a general hobby she goes to when she needs to unwind, and a vice that she can indulge in at least a little. If you really want a deep dive into why Aggretsuko is great, go watch Super Eyepatch Wolf's video about it. It's really good, and if you're somehow still not subscribed to him, do it now. Devilman Crybaby is somewhat difficult for me to talk about why I love it because why I love it betrays many preconceptions one might have about me. They look at me and say, oh look at this guy, he couldn't hurt a fly, he loves cute stuff and listens to old school rock and roll. And while they'd be correct, there's more about me that many people don't know. I love fiction that is inspired by religion and uses that inspiration to tell non-religious stories or stories about religion. Some are good like Kevin Smith's Dogma and some are terrible, but I still enjoy it, like Sausage Party. Yeah. It's about religion. Look it up. Devilman Crybaby appeals to this subgenre and so much more by being violent, emotional, dark, emotional, humorous, emotional, and just... Okay, I know I made the joke about it being emotional by repeating that word, but good God, it hurts with just how soul-crushing it gets. Trying to talk about it more would just devolve into me going into spoilers, so if you feel like this is your cup of tea and can stomach brutal, violent sexual themes and just a heart-rending experience, this is the anime for you. This was the year I got deep into Pokemon, and when I say deep, I don't mean like it was the only thing I thought about for weeks or months on end. I mean like I actually made an effort to get deep into the game and do things I've never done before. The funny thing is, I did this with Pokemon Ultra Moon, which many people have slagged for being the inferior of the Ultra duology, and part of a generation that held your hand, more than your mom helping you cross the street when you're 4 years old and you're scared to death of cars, but your mom holds your hand and it makes the trip across the street a peaceful and enjoyable one. But even then, I still very much enjoyed the game, and it cemented my opinion that Generation 7 is my actual favorite generation, solely for quality of life improvements, like the option to send a Pokemon to the box or add to your party upon capture, the complete removal of HMs needed for traversal, and possibly the easiest way to obtain shiny Pokemon possible. Speaking of shiny Pokemon, it's the first time I ever made the genuine effort to hunt for shiny Pokemon on my own. I even had a team of my dream shiny Pokemon that may not have been entirely balanced, but I love these guys as my own children. This game may not be perfect, but I still had more fun in Ultra Moon than I've had with a Pokemon in a long time. I discovered that my taste in games, while not necessarily evolving, has definitely been getting some love that I could experience firsthand, now that I had a decent computer to play games on, a Nintendo 2DS, and finally a Nintendo Switch. Yakuza 0 is a brilliant entry to the already weird and wonderful Yakuza series that I've only ever played once, back on the PlayStation 2 with the original game. I was actually pretty decent at Ultra Street Fighter 4, the remixed version, not the normal one. I'm not an animal. Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus, yes really, introduced me to the wonder, the majesty, the true beauty that is Daidoji. And Dragon Ball FighterZ gave me a fighting game I really honestly could not put down for the longest time, always trying to get better and push myself past my limits, kinda like actual Dragon Ball. Over on the Nintendo side of things, I discovered that Kirby really still does not have a bad game at all, with Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, and Star Allies giving me the fun romp that escalates as expected, but still in a way that's satisfying, yet still enjoyable. I played through Mario Odyssey from beginning to end in roughly 2 weeks, due to borrowing the game from a friend. And I still had a blast barreling through the most delightful Mario game I've played since Super Mario 64 on the DS. I haven't played many Mario games, I'm a fraud. Having played through Bayonetta 1 years ago, I waited more than a little patiently to finally play through Bayonetta 2 as I never had a Wii U, and it was a journey that felt altogether familiar, yet new, and weird and wild. And of course, we can't forget Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the game that actually convinced me to buy a Switch, if only because it promised a functioning music player that can actually be used in sleep mode, and by God do I use it. A few people pay no mind to the World of Light adventure mode, and it's a shame because playing it in big chunks provides a hearty game experience and an ending that still blows my mind with just how perfectly fitting it is. How exactly do you describe a movie where nothing happens and make it appealing? It's really hard, almost impossible, but somehow that's the movie we got when in November for only 3 days, Americans were given the opportunity to watch Mirai no Mirai, or Mirai of the Future, or even just Mirai, the new film by Mamoru Hosoda. A film that is perfectly described by a critic in one of the trailers as the work of a true auteur. This film feels like a story Hosoda wanted to tell about himself more than about a character he created. Not much of anything really truly happens in this movie, yet the adventure you go on to reach the eventual realization of nothing really happened is worth more than the ticket price. A story that only takes place in about a 6-month time period, it feels like you really do grow up so very slightly, with the main character Kun and his sister Mirai, learning what it means to be a big brother and realizing that the little things that happen in life can lead to larger developments. The movie is no longer in theaters in America as it had a very limited release, but once it's available on DVD and Blu-ray, I highly suggest that you seek out this movie. It's by far my all-time favorite anime movie, and right up there with my all-time favorite movies, period. Listen guys, I just want to thank you for checking this video out. It's been a long road to finally get here. I finally have a microphone that feels really good to use, and listening to myself on it doesn't make myself cringe inside out. Don't expect a video don't expect a consistent schedule for videos. I'm gonna attempt, this is an attempt I'm making to make a video once a month so that I have something to do during that month during my downtime. Like I said twice in the video already, if you're not subscribed to Super Eye Patch Wolf, do it already. I don't know why you would be subscribed to me but not him. And while you're there, don't be afraid to check out some of his videos. My personal favorites are the ones he did on Aggretsuko, Yu Yu Hakusho, the fall of Bleach and how it happened, the fall of The Simpsons, and why the Junji Ito collection was incredibly disappointing. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Here's hoping that the next video I make comes out sooner rather than later. This has been Rising Superstar, and I love you.